Welcome, listeners, to Menelation 669. I am here today with blessing you all with another episode this week. I know. Whoa, everybody calm down. Listen, I had to. I had to come back to the studio and record another episode because I found out something that needs to be shared with the world, basically. And if you're just an average Joe Schmo like me, right, working class, don't know what's going on with the youngins and what the heck they're doing on the internet, well, I'm here to bless you with my case study today. Okay? This case study is gonna be on the Omegaverse. And you might be wondering to yourself, what the hell is that? Like, it sounds like the metaverse, right? Like, the whole superhero bullshit. That's what I thought initially. I was like, what the hell is the Omegaverse? Is that like another subgenre of the metaverse? Because I don't know what's going on in the internet. I don't keep up with stuff. Oh boy. Buckle in. Buckle the fucking, okay? I know last episode was kind of wholesome, whatever. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. Buckle your fucking panties in. All right? Tighten up whatever diapers you have because we're going in deep today with the Omegaverse. So what is the Omegaverse? Let me just read a couple prompts because I had to be educated. I had to gather evidence. I had to go on Google and search up what the hell the Omegaverse is. And I wasn't happy. I was not happy. My immediate thought was I need to do a case study on this because what the fuck? The Omegaverse originally started as an alternate universe in this supernatural fandom. Do you guys remember Supernatural? Right? With the brothers fighting like weird supernatural like werewolves and vampires and shit? Yes. Yes, you heard me fucking right. The Omegaverse originally started as an alternate universe in the supernatural fandom. So what you're about to hear, right? I'm going to unravel to you what the Omegaverse is, and it'll blow you away. You are not prepared for this, okay? Typically, but not always, the characters in the Omegaverse are werewolves. Sometimes there's just humans with special features. The most important thing is using wolf social dynamics. Right. The term Omega is coined in the wolf, like the animal social hierarchy. You got the alphas, omegas, betas, delta, gamma. I don't know. Listen, I'm no zoologist, but, any person with common sense and a basic education can, conclude that, the alpha, beta, omega thing is with wolves in their hierarchy, right? No. These people, I don't know who. I'm assuming they're hormonal middle schoolers during Wattpad. That's my theory so far, because I was part of this Wattpad fandom. The werewolf books were so freaking popular during the early 2010s, even dating back to the early mid 2000s. Wattpad was running rampant. You could write fan fiction, right, about pretty much anything on Wattpad during those days. I mean, the golden era of fan fiction was on Wattpad. If you wanted, you as the main character, MC, that's what they're called, you as the MC wanted to date Severus Snape at Hogwarts, there was a fan fiction for that. Oh, you wanted Hermione Granger and Draco Malfoy to have sex in the library? Well, there was a fan fiction for that. Even Supernatural. The whole, if you think about any fandom, it could be King of the Hill, there was fan fiction for it. It was truly the Library of Alexandria for our time, right? During my lifetime. Wattpad has changed a lot. It's really gone downhill. They paywall everything. You got to be a special member to get your book out there, blah, blah, blah. I even wrote a werewolf fanfic during my prime. And it reached like 500,000 reads. I don't know how. I was going to take that to my grave, but you know, it's part of growth development, right? It's put me where I am today. So anyways, back to the Omegaverse. I guess they're saying this is not the same thing as the whole alpha, beta, sigma bullshit that some people believe it is reality for humans. It's more akin to a secondary gender. What does that mean? What does secondary... What do you mean it's a secondary gender? Okay, we're getting into... So what the hierarchy is. The alphas are usually larger, more dominant, aggressive. I really hate to say this into the universe, but I have to. Because this is the case study. They have penises that knot, similar to canine phalluses. You heard me right. If you didn't know, I'm going to taint your mind. In canine species, especially dogs and wolves, their penises knot. And that means there's a portion of the peni that is bulbous at the base, so it essentially traps the female during intercourse. It's kind of barbaric if you think about it. Because what do you mean you're trapping the woman there? She cannot, they're essentially locked in together. The penis does that. It's awful if you think about it, right? So even if the woman's like, okay, that's enough, they're locked in until, I guess, it goes soft or something. I've never researched. I don't want to know. That's just my educated guess, right? In some renditions, they go into ruts where they basically completely are controlled by their dicks. Are we surprised? Men and women can be alphas, and they both can get the omegas pregnant. Interesting, right? Okay, let's just remember that real quick. So moving on to the betas. The betas are regular people, nothing special. Just humans, basically. So why are they in this universe? Omegas are the submissives. They're usually smaller, more gentle. They'll create nests, family-oriented. Their job is to basically get knocked up. And in a lot of Omegaverse writings, omegas are oppressed in some way or the other. Great. So we're already seeing some misogynistic bullshit what's going on. Look. Some people are into that shit. Some people are into super dominant men, and the woman or the man, or I don't know, the secondary gender, right, can be super submissive and just take it like a bitch. All right, some people are into that. Okay, I'm not judging as long as it's consensual, right? I don't know, man. So far, what I am reading is not. I'm still doing this case study. Okay, so buckle in. Omegas go into heat, similar to female wolves, when where they basically need to fuck or they go insane. Interesting. Can we pause and just think about that real quick? What? They need to fuck or they go insane. What do you mean? Do they go schizophrenic? Often they specifically need to fuck an alpha, specifically. Okay. Men and women can be omegas. All omegas can become pregnant. So that sentence right there, can we just rewind? Men and women can be omegas. All omegas can be pregnant. So the men can be pregnant in this Omegaverse? Moving on. If I say anything else, there will be controversies, and I do not want to be ending up. I don't want to become a case study for somebody else, right? So I'm just going to leave it at that. Okay. Now we're going to move on to common terms within the Omegaverse, right? A lot of these terms can be found in the books. We'll get into this, all right? Scenting. Scenting is a term that you'll see a lot. Scents and smells are important because wolves have scent glands. They're very sensitive to scents. Alphas will often leave their scent on an omega to claim them. That is what scenting is, right? Like animals do that all the time. Like they piss on each other. Okay, all right. Claiming bites. Pause. What's going on here? Claiming bites? Interesting. These are extremely variable from writer to writer. Some claiming bytes can be broken, some are completely permanent. Basically, it's okay, wait a minute. Hold pause. Basically claiming bites is like they're getting married. You fuck them and you bite the scent gland on their neck when you come and boom, you're married. Okay, interesting. Wow. That took a turn because claiming bites, I'm like, okay, you bite whatever and you're mine now. But no, you have to bite on their scent gland, specifically come, and then you are married magically. And depending on writer to writer, okay, this can be broken or it's completely permanent. Mates. We all know the term mates, coined the term mates. I mean, that's pretty much what it is. It can be anything from a wolf being married to being fated soulmates. We kind of know this trope, okay? This is a term that I am triggered about. Wait, no. Yes, slicking. Slick is a substance secreted by omegas when in heat. It is a very sweet-smelling fluid that is semi-translucent. Pause. Is that what I think it is? Because if it is, I don't want it to be a reality. Right? A very sweet-smelling fluid that is semi-translucent. Okay. All right. When tasted, it is very sweet. Slick is basically a form of self-lubrication for omega. So why couldn't you have said it's just straight up juice? Like pussy juice, dick juice, cum. Like, I don't get it. Like, why do we have to call it slick? Okay? And it gets worse. Okay. Catching. Catching is a word for impregnation. When a person says it, they refer to the process of being knotted and when the essence of an alpha or other male release. So that's terrifying. That's horrible. All right. That's horrible. I guess marking is the same thing as what is that? Claiming bites, sort of. They go hand in hand. Heat, we already know what that is, right? Heat. They go into menstruation or some shit. And I guess the alphas go berserk over it. And that's also equally terrifying. Rut. A rut is another word that you will be seeing a lot in the Omegaverse books. Rut is the alpha's version of a heat, except the alpha is highly aggressive and dominant during this. It is brought on when an omega triggers it through their heat. However, it could happen naturally, as shown in some omega fics. During this time, the alpha is highly aroused and will seek out an unmarked or unmated omega to have catch. You know, what the hell? This is sort of getting grapey, right? Like, I know this is all fan fiction or whatever, but it's just getting worse. All right. This case study is getting deeper and deeper into a hole. This is probably the worst term on the list, mpreg. What the fuck is mpreg? Male pregnancy is extremely common in the Omegaverse, largely because the entire concept started in gay supernatural fanfic, and fans wanted Destiel to have babies. You heard it. I have no words. Like, I get it. It's all fake. It's all fantasy. But you're saying that this whole mpreg thing happened in the Omegaverse because supernatural fans wanted Destiel to have babies. And it's just so crazy that the Omegaverse literally started in the supernatural fandom. I'm trying to still wrap my head around this. Because I know Wattpad was riddled with supernatural fanfic, okay? I was there when the laws were being written, okay? So let's see here. ABO, another word for Omegaverse, stands for Alpha, Beta, Omega. So ABO, you'll see that a lot. The first official stories using Omegaverse terminology popped up in the early 2010s in the fandom adjacent to the show Supernatural. So they focused on the actors, not the characters. So Jensen Ackles was the first Omega, and Jared Padalecki was the first Alpha. This is getting worse. Some of the tropes that are common in the Omegaverse go back further. Star Trek's concept of the Vulcan mating cycle, Pon farr, lines up well with the Omegaverse idea of heat, and fans have been finding ways to get men pregnant in their fanfic since at least the 1988. So we've been trying to get males pregnant since the 1980s. And am I proud of us writers who are trying to get men pregnant out there? I don't know. I'm just here to do my case study and cry later into a pillow until I fall asleep. Because the fanfic was fine, right? Whatever. Harry Potter fanfic, SpongeBob. What were some other popular ones? My Little Pony. You name it. It was out there. This, though, I don't know. So there's a dominance hierarchy, like I've said before, that happens naturally in the wolf hierarchy outside, the animal wolf. Dominance hierarchy, obviously the alphas, betas, omegas. It's a structured social hierarchy. Alphas at the top and omegas at the bottom. There's secondary sex characteristics. Individuals are not just male or female, but also possess a secondary designation as alpha, beta, or omega, which influences their biology and social standing. So there's a little chart that I found, and this little chart here is titled "Reproductive Systems in the Omegaverse," and I don't know how. I'm just gonna have to explain this to you. So male, female on the top left and right, and on the far left side it goes alpha, beta, omega. And in the male category, it's broken up to male genitals, uterus. And in the female section, it also breaks down into male genitals and uterus. For example, a male alpha will have male genitals, but no uterus. And if you move on to the female alphas, they have both male genitals. They could. But they also definitely have a uterus. So a male beta has male genitals, but a male beta does not have a uterus. The female beta does not have male genitals, but it has a uterus. The male omega could have or could not have male genitals, but it definitely has a uterus. The male omega has a uterus. I'm just saying this one more time just so you guys can pick up what I'm putting down. The male omega does not have male genitals, but it has a uterus. So just let that sink in, right? I understand if you have to go back and re-listen to what I just said just to get a concept, an idea of this chart that I just found. So thus far, what are my thoughts, right, about what the evidence that I am gathering about the Omegaverse? It is 99.9% boys love, like gay fan fiction, men on men, gay fan fiction. It is so rare to find straight Omegaverse books. There are out there, guys. Don't get me wrong. It's not just a couple books. I mean, I'm sure there are hundreds, but compared to the hundreds of straight male on female Omegaverse trope, there is tenfold, 100 to 1,000, right, ratio, where thousands of men on men gay fanfic on the Omegaverse are out there. I have to say, I will name some of these titles. Okay, I did my research. I went in deep. All right, some of the book titles for the men on men ones specifically, because that is the main demographic, the main thickness, the meat of the Omegaverse are in the boys love men on men gay fan fiction. Slow Heat. That's a typical werewolf book, I would say. Alpha's Sacrifice. that's another vanilla title. I mean, you probably see alphas, whatever, alphas mate, whatever, all the time. Snuggle season. Now that was a cute one that I had to add in there because it was different, right? Snuggle season. How cute. Honorable mentions, guys, here. These are some of my favorite titles that I have found. The aliens kidnapped Omega. His surrogate, Omega. Claimings, tales, and other alien artifacts. The Human Omega series. Trapped in the alien jungle. Babied by his guardian mates. Discovered on the slave planet. Right? I'm trying to wrap my head around this because, you know, any Omegaverse, metaverse, I mean, the possibilities are supposed to be endless, right? Because it is a made-up universe solely on fanfic and fantasy. So I'm trying to wrap my head around this, but why the fuck are we bringing aliens into this? What did they have to do to be punished by us into werewolf gay fanfiction? Where do aliens come into play? I don't get this. Like I was finally I think I was finally coming to terms with what the Omegaverse is. Like, okay, at the end of the day, it is fan fiction. People are just trying to have a dandy old time, putting their favorite characters together and making them fuck in writing form. And yes, it is weird at some extent. I get it, right? But at the same time, a lot of this is escapism. I mean, we've talked about book talk. A lot of people read these for maybe it could be a humorous escape. Maybe they want Jensen Ackles to breed them or something. I don't know. But I'm on a tangent now because a lot of these alien tropes are getting brought in to the Omegaverse. What's going on here? So I chose one book that caught my eye. And the book cover is just a guy shirtless. The really classic, like a lot of these books have just two ripped men on the cover, like sort of cuddling, but their heads are cut off, so you just see their torso. I don't know, kind of sexualizing guys. I'm just saying. Okay, how would you feel if it was just women's boobs on the cover and that was it, right? Just hot lady boobs pressing up on each other. And that's it. It's just low effort on my part, right? I think it's low effort. Like it's kind of tacky, right? But this one caught my eye because the freaking cover is so green. Like I thought it was Hulk at first. It had to have been a Hulk fanfic. But in big silver letters, it says the fading. And at first I read it as the fatting, and that's what caught my eye. Because I'm like, whoa, this is contradictory because the cover page has a ripped guy on there shirtless, but the title said the fatting. But you know, I had an Asian moment, guys. I can't read English sometimes. The fading. I had to click on it. It was on Goodreads. I'm like, okay, here we go. If I'm going to do a case study, I want to get the information out there. And a lot of this Omegaverse shit is tied into aliens. So I, as, you know, a curious soul, a person that wants to educate themselves all the time, you can learn something new every day. I had to click on it. So the fading. It has a 3.98 star rating on Goodreads. It has 1,328 ratings, but 318 written reviews. Let me just read the summary that is on Goodreads for this book. I hate Galaxy 6781. Hate it. One last job. The bounty of a lifetime. It wasn't supposed to end with me on Skjogari, slave planet, and my entire crew dead. So after 3 months of misery, when the chance to escape presented itself, I took it. Had I known more about my fellow escapee, I might have reconsidered. I don't believe in fate or true love, so when Grantham, crowned Prince of Ditali, tried giving me some spiel about the universe had chosen us to be together, as in together, I shot that theory down. I mean, I'm not even into males. He's so far off base, it's not even funny. Except now he said he's dying, and I don't mean in a dramatic sense of someone who got turned down by a handsome human bounty hunter, dying in the sense that because said handsome bounty hunter rejected our so-called fating, he's literally wasting away before my eyes. Sad, but what do I care? We're strangers. I care because we're the only two beings on this vessel we stole during our escape, and he's the only one of us who knows how to fly it. The debris field we're approaching can kiss my backside right along with the damn universe and Grantham's cockamine fating theory, because as much as I'm not into males, I'm not ready to die. They'd better throw me a parade when we get to his planet. Talk about taking a wrong turn. Galaxy 6781. I really, really, really hate you. That is the summary on this book on Goodreads. You read it, and my first initial thought, right, was, okay, here we go. Like, it's a guy who claims he's not into guys, but then he's sucking his cock. You know, maybe a chapter or two into the book, and you're like, wait a minute, I thought you said you didn't like men, but why is his penis in your mouth? Whatever. There is one, I have to do it. If I'm going to do these weird book moments, I have to read a couple of the reviews because people are funny. Some of these reviews do have spoilers, but I doubt you guys listening are going to pick up this book at your Barnes & Noble or Amazon Kindle and read it. So here is the premise that this reviewer wrote. A 6'7" love-struck, 9.5-inch schlonged green alien falls in love with his fated mate who is a super straight, Chad-like human. So right off the bat, it is Hulk. I mean, I was partially right. Right? I mean, green alien with a 9.5-inch schlong. I mean, continuing. Naturally, Mr. Straight says no. So the alien who nicknamed Greenie, begins to wither and die. So obviously, Mr. Hetero agrees to getting his ass plundered for rescue. Whoa. Zooey mama, what? Mr. Hetero agrees to getting his ass plundered. See, I knew it. I called it. I knew the straight guy was going to cave super quick, and somehow a dick is going to be in his vicinity. Right? Way too close for it to be hetero. This book was fucking ridiculous. The author really committed to making, like, the most fucked and fucking entertaining book ever. And I had to add this part from the review. Okay, because these are some words and quotes that are just so baffling that they're honorable mentions. Plundering as the term for fucking. So instead of saying they fucked, they said they're plundering. That's terrible. That is, if I'm reading a spicy book, right, and the word plundering is in there like 50,000 times, I'm putting it down. All right, I'm putting the book down. Because that's just ruining the immersion, right? Here's another quote. And I'm trying not to cry because it's worth crying over. The quote is, "You wish for me to meld your teats?" What the fuck is that? I haven't heard the word teat since, like, I read a farm book about farm animals. Meld? You wish for me to meld your teats? What the fuck does that even mean? This is worse. They get worse. Divine virginal channel. I'm pausing just so you guys can really soak in what the fuck that was. What is this episode? We went from Omegaverse, werewolves, humans, weird hierarchy, misogynistic, grapey shit, to aliens and divine virginal channels. Fate juice is another quote. I guess it is coined in the book quite often. Fate juice. That's crazy. I'm going to start calling it fate juice because that's more romantic, honestly. And my favorite on the list, public lube fountain. So what the hell is going on this planet? What called Ditali? There's a public lube fountain. So where are we at? The Las Vegas Bellagio, but it's just KY hot and what is that? Hot and cold spicy lube? What's happening? What is this phenomenon, right? Because it makes me think like the book talk books that we were talking about earlier, a couple episodes ago, those are like so vanilla now to me because this Omegaverse is becoming unhinged, right? I mean, you can go on Wattpad right now and search the unofficial guide to the Omegaverse, and somebody wrote a whole like mini short story, I don't know, like a short book about the Omegaverse, and it gets super detailed. Multiple hybrid arcs, lycanthropy, whatever, you know what I'm talking about, arc, human arc. It just keeps going. They talk about anatomy. They do talk about that, where everything's positioned, medications that people can take in this Omegaverse, hybrid classifications. So it doesn't just end with wolves. It can also, okay, so it could bleed into cats, felines, cows, rams, bunnies, bats, subspecies. I mean, what the hell is going on? The various Omegaverse systems. Yeah, see, I was right. Alpha, delta, beta, gamma, omega. Dude, there's whole pages just dedicated to nodding, because I know motherfuckers are into this shit, and that's sick. Right? That's sickening. Because why would you want that for a human? Like, it's sad enough that, you know, poor female dogs and shit need to go through that. Why the hell would you want that for your human body? Right? I mean, I don't even know why people like this. I don't know. Some people even say, what is the Omegaverse controversy? People are just saying it's just stupid. Right? People are just saying they're romanticizing bestiality in a way, which I can see that. I mean, if they were just like, if you're LARPing, like, let me put on some dog ears and a tail, bark for you, but use our human genitals, that's a whole different story. Okay, that's fine. But this is to the point where people are like fantasizing about wolf dick in their bussy. They're bussy, by the way, not pussy, but they're bussy because they're all gay. They're all gay and they're men. There is a Omegaverse lawsuit video out there. Dude, do I even want to delve into this? Okay, yeah, Omegaverse litigation. There's literally a whole Wikipedia page of the lawsuit or the Omegaverse controversies, like where it all started, coined terms. Okay, so here we go. Somebody was asking the ABO lawsuit, the Alpha Beta Omega lawsuit. This was on Reddit. Somebody said, is this serious? Like, for real? I saw this yesterday and it's really silly to me. Parentheses, in 2016, author Addison Kane released Born to be Bound, a novel that features Omegaverse genre tropes. In April 2018, Kane and her publisher Blushing Books filed a Digital Millennium Copyright Act, basically a DMCA, notice against author Zoe Ellis for her 2008 novel Crave to Conquer. So, okay, so the authors are beefing over the Omegaverse fanfic genre, I guess, claiming like, oh, the Omegaverse isn't owned by anyone, I don't think. I think it's just a huge fanfic community that was created, and anybody can write about the Omegaverse. There's no one author that claimed it. There is no one entity or business that claimed it. It's just out there, right? So I guess the lawsuit just pertains to one of the authors writing a book, and then another author wrote something similar, I guess, because, I mean, how creative can you get with these things, right? Let's be for real. Anyways, yeah, that's basically the lawsuit. So I filled you in right there. What do we think? At the end of the day, I mean, this just popped up onto me. Like, I literally just found out about the Omegaverse, and I needed to do a case study immediately, and I needed to make a podcast episode, or else I would start to go mad. So there you have it, folks. If you were wondering about the Omegaverse and what the fuck it was, and maybe it popped up on your TikTok, God forbid your For You page betrays you, and some weird furries are going on, now you know, the Omegaverse. And this is definitely a bonus episode for this week because I had to get the sermons out. I had to get the word out. So anyways, folks, thank you for tuning in on such a wild topic today. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, if you have topics that you would like me to talk about on here, or if you'd like to be a guest, right? I'm opening up guest slots. Okay. At first I was like iffy about it. I know Populations was my first guess because he is Populations. He has that right. But I was like thinking, you know, if there's a person crazy enough that has some stories that we can talk about, you know, conspiracies that you believe in, just if you're out there, I love you. I love crazy. I love chaotic people. So if you're out there and you want to be a guest on my podcast and we can talk about anything, email me, please, at meanalations@gmail.com. I do have a Patreon. What is it? meanalations@patreon.com. Just, I might start doing audiobook stuff. If you're into listening to stories before bed, I will probably start to read, like live read, like not really much editing, just so it's more natural and authentic. I will be posting those onto my Patreon eventually. So anyways, that was this week's bonus episode, a case study, you could say, because I will be doing these more and more. I have another case study lined up, and that is on really bizarre, controversial TikTokers out there that are being accused of really horrific things and they end up being true. So tune in on that next week. But for now, that was this week's bonus episode. Thank you very much, guys.